tiebreaker on Blood Lodge. And for the very last series, some SEA and SA demons. At 9 p.m., we have Pay Money to My Pain and Void. Pay Money to My Pain's pick of Ghoul going first. Void's Houndmaster going second on the Cold Tower 1, and a tiebreaker of Hillbilly on the Blood Lodge. My name is Hunter. Alongside with me tonight, this afternoon, is none other than Peps. How are we doing, dude?
I'm going amazing, Hunter. Very, very keen to get into some of these games. That was an absolute amazing intro. Rap God getting it in just in the nick of time as we were about to load into the first matchup, being Lirsanmarine and Desolous. So I'm pretty keen to see how the Doctor will play. I think it's the first Doctor set I've actually casted so far in this season on the CT2. Emotionally, is that not emotionally stable? I really actually do enjoy that name. That's pretty good. As we're going to be seeing Sentry kind of making their way over to the main building. Might be a pretty normal start here. Just seeing the Doctor trying to roam, cut someone off from crossing the map. The survivors should be able to delay a first hit here realistically for quite some time. That's kind of what you're looking for here on the survivor side.
Yeah, definitely. And as we take this first chase over at the T-Nails over at the one side, it is going to be Anger on the Dwight, who's going to be rotating all the way down to main. He's going to be opting to try to throw this pallet over at main, but not being able to do it quite effectively. The shot coming in, and that would be a very early tag for a Doctor set. We're going to be vaulting the window, trying to make as much distance as possible. We don't have access to BAM vaulting this on the killer side, but we are just going to commit the chase around main, and this could prove to be pretty hurtful. I mean, oh, we have spotted out Smokey coming in hot for what seemed to be maybe a body of some sort. Not too sure what we're doing here, big buddy. I thought Ango was actually all in the clear for a little bit, but we're going to be taking the chase back onto Smokey now here at this 11, still at the main tile. Now wrapping around back to the one side where we have access to that pallet that hasn't been broken just yet. So we're able to continue the chase. All things considered, it's still a pretty long one now. It was looking a little bit like a two-tap just before, but they've managed to get their footing back a little bit, and now still going to be playing the main building on the side of Smokey. No gen pressure in the background is going to be very interesting on the side of Desolous here. We have opted to go for a little bit of a reset, and here's one generator that's a quarter done. I would have expected maybe somewhere along the lines of 75% at least at this point, but I mean, yeah, it's just looking a little bit rocky here for our survivors, and even our killer. It's just a really weird start here, Peps.
Yeah, no, it was actually a really good start here from the kill side, getting multiple tags early. A nice, well-timed body block coming here from Amori, and going to be able to delay the potential down here. No, we're going to see Smokey running into that little wooden spindle there, and it's going to be going down as a result. But as you actually said as well, no access to BAM, no brutal strength either, so no chase perk here on the Doctor. So, I mean, you know, chases can sprawl out a bit more than you would probably like to on the Doctor, especially when you're around this main building with that access to one of those perks. Sentry, I was about to say, might want to kick the door. No, it's electing to keep it up, just in case you can get that shock and cut them off, I suppose. We're going to be seeing Sentry trying to cross the map here, trying to utilize that pop goes the Weasel to get some regression going, because as you said before, no gen has been popped at the moment, and that might be as a result of the sloppy trying to get that heal off before, not going to be able to quite double that gen for as long as they want. Amori not going to be able to free-drop that pallet. Electing to actually hesitate on that a bit. It might result in a tag here, and it actually will, as we're going to get the smash hit, but the tags are coming through nonetheless. And these sloppy butcher tags, especially on that Doctor, can add up quite a lot, especially if they constantly stack up that madness.
Yeah, definitely. With two injured survivors now in the trial, Sentry seems to be getting his footing back a little bit now, so more in favor of the killer, as we still haven't seen a generator pop, and we are going to be taking chase towards some of these fillers outside of main. As I say that, we do see the first generator in the background pop all the way down at the other side of the map, so Smokey not really being able to drop this pallet. I think he's just going to be getting hit down there, unfortunately. So, no access to any funny DS business, as it Doctor is a tier 5 killer. So, we're going to be taking that pick straight back to the hook. He goes on the backside of main, more towards corner 11 now. Very interesting. We do have access to a heal here, so we are able to pretty much camp this out to death, I would assume. But it's just a matter of if the survivors get enough gen pressure in the background. We do see Anger working over it too, and not emotionally stable, and this seems to be Amor working over at 5, so, or 6, deep 6 rather, so we're going to be taking this kick onto this pallet where it had been dropped, and where the generator is being currently worked. We're going to be blinding the eyes of our Doctor here. Amor just kind of running back into the scratch marks and bamboozling our killer a little bit. Able to make enough distance as well. Is the smash hit player from what we had seen previously, but we're going to be taking that kick onto that generator, just pressing the survivors off a little bit, and now going straight back to returning back. Yeah, I mean, fall from here. I just don't. They're going for a double save. This is completely doable for the side of a save onto our hooked Smokey, but at the cost of a lot of gen pressure at the moment, as we do only have one survivor probably working around that 5 to 6 generator. And, you know, with the static blast coming in hot, we were able to really see that there was 2 people in this vicinity going for the save. So some very good info on the side of our dock. We are coming in for the trade on the side of
I like this.
The Body Block University coming in clutch. Wait, we got the unhook!
No way, that unhook, absolutely insane. Gonna be able to get Smokey off of the hook there. Now actually able to try and leg it all the way down to that bot side, because as we see right here, we have 4 generators on this top side of the map, so you definitely want to try and take them away from start attacking this top side. Smokey now delaying that death. I think that we just saw a drop pallet for Smokey. I'm not too sure, as we're going to be seeing the body block. They are giving away a lot of tags here, so they're going to have to make this worth it and make sure that Smokey actually does last quite a bit here, as they got that generator popped in the background too, over towards that 6th side of the map. Now Smokey trying to make their way over to Shack. The shot going to come through, but not quite enough, not quick enough, and Smokey delaying this down even further. We actually have a few running to the reset, but I mean, you have to run to the only fresh survivor on the map, as not emotionally say we're going to be tagged, and then we have 4 tagged survivors. You have to make this last, Smokey. You cannot be going down too soon here, as we have so many injured survivors here. And playing that 3v1 with that 4gen on the top side of the map could prove to be disastrous, especially considering it is a doctor just constantly trying to chokehold that top side of the map, trying to delay it, getting those shocks, getting the madness out onto the survivors. And I feel like all those tags and might not be worth it in the end here, actually.
It was all a little in vain. I can't lie. I am definitely in agreement with you on that. But that will be the death of Smokey here. So tunnel out at 3 gens remaining. 3v1 at 3 generators remaining on a doctor set. I mean, you really need to pull something out of the hat here if you're one of these survivors. 1 healthy on the board and 2 injured. It's just really looking like it's in favor of Sentry at the moment. We're going to be taking chase onto the healthy survivor though.
Oh.
Maybe going to go for a tag here. We're being caught out at the check spot. Some slow reaction time and not playing it effectively, unfortunately, is the result in that tag going on to Anger, who's going to be vaulting this window into main as well and playing the main building, but we've opted not to. Oh, we actually have. I thought we left, but no, we have left. Okay, so I'm bamboozling myself a little bit as well. I'm pretty much as confused as the survivors in Sentry at this point, but we are going to be committing chase back onto a Moore, who's not going to be able to make this pallet vault. Lol jokes is, and it's going to be able to make all the way down to 2 where there's access to a drop pallet here. And in all honesty, this chase really needs to last a long time, somewhere around the 1 minute 30 mark, but with access to absolutely bugger all on this side of the map, I don't really see a world where that is feasible. But still playing this filler pallet very nicely on the side of our ace here, and able to make that twice. Okay, maybe we can see a 1 minute 30 chase. It's gone absolutely crazy, and just it's playing every 50, every 50. This is absolutely insane, but he's going to be going down ultimately in the end. And yeah, it's just not the chase they really needed. I don't even think they get a gem pop in the background here. They might.
If they were trying to attack this top side of the map, they might have been doubling that generator at 1/2, but the pain res is going to be able to deny it. I don't think they were quite doubling it. Maybe we're going to be seeing Sable complete one of those generators on the bot side of the map, just to try and make sure they get as many generators completed here. And the generator will pop, kind of conceding the fact that they might just go for a 4K2, considering they're not even going for the save just yet. And if Anger goes down here momentarily soon, I don't even think they'll be able to last here. Oh, actually going to be holding strong there, holding W, lasting enough in chase. They kind of have to last until the save comes through, as Anger's going to be losing that 50-50, going to be going down. And now the question is here, is the killer going to slug? And yes, they most certainly will, going to be trying to cut off the Sable here, trying to get this 4K2, which would be an absolute insane result on the Doctor. And as you see here, this pallet chain that we saw Amori using before is actually quite strong. You definitely do want to start to kick some of these pallets potentially on the Doctor, but when you're in a position like this, I mean, just keep chasing. You're going to get the downs probably eventually anyway with your shocks, and you're about to lock out the match here. You're not going to make that pallet vault, and this is going to lock up a 4K on the Doctor, which on a tier 5 killer to start off the day is kind of crazy, not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, after the rocky start we had on the serve end, it's just like inevitable that it really turned into a 4K. Did slip up a little bit at the start there, Sentry, but was able to re-find his footing. So we're going to be opting to find the last survivor here, and it is going to be Anger who will be our last on hook. So yeah, 4K2, not what you want on a tier 5, especially. You want outs. I mean, you know, he's only an M1 killer with a shot capability, and all you just do is really hold W. I don't even think we saw Shaq being used this match, so, you know, all the play was all over here at the top side. I just not really too sure what was the plan from the survivors here, but, you know...
4K3 win con for Desolous here on the Doctor, which is going to be a tall order here. Pretty big ask. I'm actually curious to see what perk options we see here on the Doctor, considering they are tier 5. They have access to a wide variety of perks, actually. So you can run some pretty interesting things, but maybe something pretty stock standard. Maybe the 4 slowdown. We might see something repeat of like what we saw last game. We're just trying to delay it as much as possible. Probably going to be guaranteeing seeing that Sloppy Butcher's going to be seeing the survivors here kind of fanning out here on the map. We see why. I think I'm going to assume that's head on ready in that locker for the first chase, which isn't a bad idea. We see actually a different variation here. We see the eruption, and I forget what it's called, but it's the one where you get the move speed after getting the M1 onto a survivor. So trying to actually bring a chase perk here on this Doctor.
Rapid brutality, yes. I mean, it's definitely known amongst the well, I was going to say the C tier, but tier 5 kills, oh my god. We're missing that on pin 2 and just absolutely crazy being able to make that bolt. Now playing this 4 was very nice. There's still no tag yet, so we are looking about to be roughly in the 42nd stage of the game. So we're just having a really good chase over at this this broken 4 walls. I can't lie. I don't know how he's making do with just this fuck ass tile, but we're going to be still just greeting the pallet a little bit. And I'm missing the shot there narrowly. The pathing is absolutely incredible at the moment, and we haven't even broken off. Now we break off, and yes, they're trying to get that tag. And look at the gen pressure at the moment. So all of that shenanigans happening at the start of last game. Look how conventional this game starts off. We're getting a hit, but there's already a generator that's being doubled at 90% progression, and it's going to be popping any second now. So, you know, very good stuff from the side of the Lirsanmarine. It being their pick as well, so they would have scrimmed this a hell of a lot, and it is a known favorite for them. I would assume years on end. Being from China, I'm not too sure how much they've really played this set in other leagues, but it's going to be end going down over at 11 rather, and or 10. So Sakuda not being able to get that flashlight save early. I do see some more generator progress in the background, so, you know, automatically a better start than last game.
Unfortunately, I think I saw what they were going for there, and ended up actually stuffing up in there in the end and making the chase go for a bit less than what they would have liked to have gone for. They kind of, I think they're trying to dive to the pallet, and they kind of hesitated at the pallet and died outside of it, so not quite able to delay the game there, which you can do a lot against the tier 5 kills. You can kind of play for pallet saves or play under pallets, just to waste like, you know, copious amounts of time from the kill, as we're going to be seeing Anger kind of trying to fan out towards the backside of the map here, trying to see if they can try and harass the survivors here, but it ends up giving a free save here and the main building as well to this tunnel out. So this is going to be quite difficult here. They definitely have to try and get a tunnel out with this potential 4K3, I guess, still on the cards here. But that was a really nice clone there. Kind of tips to the fact that they 100% know that the survivors are on the backside of the main building here, but we do see Sakuda coming back. Wasn't able quite to play for the pallet save, considering they didn't set it up properly, but is going to be here to play for the save and doesn't even drop the pallet. Just has absolute nerves of steel there.
Balls of steel, even, my god, to be able to just continue on this chase all around side main as well. Now gonna opt to chase Sakuda as opposed to going for our tunnel out on the side of Anger. I think he's opting to go for fresh hooks here, but, you know, leading into his win con, this is not what you need. Oh, we've almost vaulted into the loving embrace of Anger. That's absolutely crazy, but we've managed to just vault back in time and just skate away from that hit. And now with the Static Blast coming in, we're able to really see where those survivors are hiding at the moment, and all the way down over at the 10 side of main is going to be able to make all the way down to the bottom side, and that is going to be the Tycon met as it currently... No, sorry, it is still the win con, my apologies. But we are going to continue on the chase onto Sakuda in the middle. And now we're at the Tycon now. No, never mind. So we're going to be going down all the way at the bottom side. We have flipped the map, so some very nice work here from the side of our survivors, but we have caught sight of our tunnel out once more and not playing too safe, unfortunately, trying to snap out of the madness at a very inconvenient spot. Now going to be playing the filler pallet over at mid-5 and going to opt to go back to this jungle gym here, just laid out ever so perfectly for them. And they're able to still get that shock onto N as well. Very well anticipated from the side of Anger. Not being able to hit the swing through the pallet is absolutely crazy. And we're going to be able to make as much distance as we can, maybe even all the way down to Shaq, as this is the correct place to be taking chase at this point in time. And we do see the generator over in the background, 25% progress. We are coming in with the bodies on the side of Lirsanmarine. If you did see that cheeky Renato with the firecracker in hand over at Shaq, this is going to be the imminent tag as well. We're going to get a pre-drop of Shaq to delay the hit even more, delay the hit down even more, and it's looking extremely dire for Anger here, Peps.
Yeah, no, N, don't chase N on the Doctor on CT2, I guess, because like absolute insane pathing. Yeah, there is a good altruism coming through on the side of Lirsanmarine, but my lord, N, the pathing on the Doctor here, honestly a masterclass here on how to chase against Doctor. But Anger does eventually get the down there on the Renato. Gonna be hooking Y here, but I mean the survivors have access to like any gen really. They got a one gen at least on the bot side. They have one here, three here on the top side to choose from. As one, no, almost two of them are about to pop. We're gonna be down to one generator remaining. Unfortunately, gonna be getting that tier 3. So the Jake Park security not gonna be able to complete that generator over towards the one side of the map. Anger mind gaming themselves there for a hot minute, but gonna be eventually on Roizy's just behind Wheezy here, sorry, and going to be getting that tag. But I mean, they've already kind of lost the set, which is kind of unfortunate here. But try to play for your best result, get some momentum heading into the next set, which will be actually the Blight on Gasm, which is Desolous pick. So can try and make a comeback on that one. But for now, we're on the Doctor set, and we're seeing like a full team reset coming through here too. Their game plan going into this was very, very solid.
110%. You don't expect all 4 survivors to be in the same position, and we have spotted them out on the side of Anger, but we've gone for a 3-1 split. 3 down bottom side, 1 down top side, and now we're just going to get caught out here over at this jungle gym where there is no access to any pallet, but we are going to make distance all the way down to 11. Our gen split is still fairly close together, so we do have to be careful not to make any crucial mistakes over at this side of the map, as this isn't really the ideal place to be taking chase, and Anger knows it, which is why he's opted to go for this chase. But I mean, playing around this window ever so nicely is Y, who's going to be able to break away to the pallet as well, and we've completely lost sight of them. We don't want anything to do with it on the side of Anger. We're going back to the generator all the way over at 1, and we're a little bit hesitant, a little bit scared, as we didn't see the last reset come into play. And look at how progressed this generator is all the way over at 1 here. We are going to be dropping this pallet here at the broken 4 walls once more, because we have seen a second tile like this at this game. Oh my god, no, Royces! Okay, look, as soon as you make that window vault, you just shouldn't have tried to give him a little kiss over at the window, but it was cheeky, but he paid the price for it, and now he's taking chase all the way down to 10 tile as well, where we've had this nice little Ormond filler. We can play the window here. Are the survivors in the back are going to hop back on that generator? I don't think that they are. We're going for a body block here. We're working a completely separate generator, maybe the main building or something. Royce is going to be using the window, the tag coming in from Y, who's going to make distance all the way down to the top side of the map over at 11 once more. He's going to be able to jiggy around these wooden crates here and play the Ormond filler once again. Not being able to make the vault here is going to be going down, and the eruption proc happening all the way over at 1, but they're not working 1, I don't think.
Yeah, no, this generator is 100% going to pop as the triple is coming through here, but in comparison to the first half of the set, this is definitely more of how you should kind of see a Doctor set kind of play out. The survivors kind of being in control for pretty much the entire game, coming in for the altruism, and the Doctor kind of just doing their best to get the most amount of stages they can with the perks that they have, and seeing a really good masterclass here on the Doctor. And I mean, I guess you can see as to why they definitely like this set, as they are playing it phenomenally right now, not only in the macro but also the micro. And we're going to be seeing maybe an attempt here at the save. I mean, why not? You may as well just get the reset, try and get the save here. I mean, you've already won the matchup. Or do you reckon you take the stages out the door, try to make a bit more of a statement that way? But surely you go for your comrade here on the hook. Surely.
You would think so. It just depends if they get the resets over in time, because they are on the other side of the map all the way down at Deep Shack. But as Thor is behind Shack, and yeah, no, they don't have enough time to reset everybody and go for the save. Unfortunately, it did look like that. I mean, maybe if the reset was happening just a little bit closer to the hook, but it would have been dangerous if they did do that, considering how far the door was. And yeah, Yeah, we're just taking the outs here. So really want to, I think this is their main roster for really going into these kind of sets, and definitely shows, but we do see our survivors spawn all the way down to the bottom side of the map and taking position to make sure they're not being found cross map on the side of Amor, and Amor is going to be going all the way down to the mid side, but not using the rushes here. He's going to opt to go for a chase nice and early and get those rushes in as soon as he sees someone. And he does have this really nice heal over at this mid 6 tile, so still haven't really found anyone yet, and as I say that, I do think that we spotted someone all the way down stealthing for edge map, and it is our Jake Sakuda is going to be eating that tag straight off the rip, now running all the way down to the bottom side here. Doesn't really have much to work with, does have access to a dumpster filler, so a very nice filler nonetheless. It's going to be pre-dropped instantly. Not really much to go on after this is dropped, though. We do have access to 5 if we are able to make it on the side of Lirsanmarine, but we've done a little bit of jiggy in and out and broke a line of sight very nicely around the rocks, but a very nice flick from Amor, and I already like what I'm seeing on the mechanical side of our killer here, Peps.
Yeah, really nice down there, as we're going to be seeing the survivor side kind of fanning out here, and the survivor with Deli going to be pre-stealthing right now for this pull that gets put right on the hook there. And we haven't quite touched on it yet, but you know, a very standard variation of a blight build here. Pretty much what you see almost every game. The double speed, you see the eruption, the pop, the cob coming in as well, which is cool to see. But we see the pull coming through. It's going to be a free pull there with the Deli 100% coming through, and a little bit of a reset, so gains a little bit of like chase speed, I suppose, for a little bit there, and that will make it as more going to be trying to play around the shack here. If Sakuda goes down here relatively fast, which I mean, they only had to use 2 dashes, so it comes back so fast, but they do have that decisive strike and dead hard in their back pocket here. So probably going to utilize that now just to try and delay the game a bit. Can make it towards this pallet as well because they utilize it in the shack, so a good place to use it. Really well played there. Now, if they can get a really clutch dead hard here into maybe another pallet, as we're going to be seeing a mind game, but the dead hard going to be making up for that blunder, as now we're going to be seeing Amor have to get another successive hit here, trying to get the mind games here. Sakuda going around the tires, actually kind of confusing the killer here. No iron will either, so just kind of playing around the tires here, throwing off the killer a bit as it gives them a bit of distance here. They use a few of their rushes, so they're going to have to just play this with their M1 at the moment, trying to get this mind game, but will eventually be able to use their rushes. They're going to be able to hit them around the corner here. Sakuda really salvaging that chase, and might be able to help the survivor side here, maybe get at least 2 generators for this second hook, but the basement, no. I like to go past it. Going to go towards this shallow 6 area, get this hook here. I was going to be seeing 2 hooks for 2 gens, maybe an FTP coming out.
Maybe, just maybe. I mean, that chase ultimately should have been a 2-tap. We did have some perks over at our disposal that did help us out of that chase, and then just losing Sakuda around those Bridgestone tires was absolutely crazy. That just shouldn't have happened in any instance on the side of a wall, but we're still able to really take the game back into control, even though a generator is popping right in front of our faces, and we've just kind of let it slide. Royces, you're absolutely criminal for that, my guy. He's playing absolutely great now, just around this mid side, and being able to break line of sight and dodge the hit. Oh my god, some of the really good sliding and mechanical work from the side of Amor. I'm really impressed for definitely in regards to that, but now we're just going to opt to go back to our hook and kind of camp this out to second stage and even death if we can. So I don't really know if there's anybody stealthing for the pull. Deli should still be in the game at the moment, and it is our ace here just stealthing around for that pull onto 6. We are in the correct spot if we are. Which one?
God.
Oh, the Speedo's ace. You haven't seen the Speedo's ace? My God, this is a new thing, and we are able to get this trade here on the side of our survivors. You know, even if we do take a tag and ultimately go down in the end, I think Amor just kind of has to slug this and not go for the pick. He has to get this tunnel out as soon as possible. Be the 3v1 at 1 gen remaining. We are going to take the endurance hit and just run straight down to main. No DH here, unfortunately, anymore. I don't know. Did he use DH or was that through the... It had to be endurance. You don't use just DH off of that. That was nowhere near enough time, surely. But we are going to opt to go around main here once more, and we're going to be missing that flick ever so narrowly. Some nice W keying there from Sakuda to kind of dodge that out, and now utilizing the window once more. Going to run to this pallet, and does he know the check spots? How good is he on the check spots? 1, 2, 3. Amor just going to be trying to mind game this. The body blocks coming in, but we're not able to make much distances. We are just kind of stuck at this pallet here, and we are going down, unfortunately, and it will be the 3v1 with everybody injured and 1 gen remaining. So, thoughts, Peps?
They have to try and slam out this generator if they're all going to be injured before the Copper Rush and Cobb start coming into play, because as you see, those 3 generators, they are like relatively close together here. For a Blight, we're going to be seeing at least a double reset come through, which is nice. Y cannot really get found here, considering that the only, you know, injured survivor, but it looks like that is exactly what is going to happen here. So the killer definitely in a position to salvage this if they get a fast enough down, but they do have that double probably occurring here on that generator all the way over towards Shaq, as the pickup's going to be coming through. If they can get over there, get this pop eruption, they actually might have a chance to get this 4K1 or battle for it, but it all comes down to these few rushes. Can they get to the generator in time? That is the question. How close is it gonna be? Got a bit of progress, not too much though. We'll apply the perks here onto that generator, and this killer actually not in the worst spot here if they can get a few tags.
Definitely not. I mean, like you said, these gens are so close and they're all bottom side, so we need to flip the map, make sure we're taking chase all the way down to the top side. And with that hook all the way down at 5, it is the bottom side, so it's definitely not where you want to be dying. As soon as this unhook happens, you have to run straight down and haul ass down to the top side and use your exhaustions if you have access to them. We do have eyes on our ace here, able to make that vault and just be able to make the other side without being touched at all. And now we're going to be opting to take the chase back onto White, who is our Renato, who's running not too far. He needed to run a little bit further down to top side than that. We do have the eruption proc all the way down over at 7, and I don't think that it has enough progress to kind of stick through and make sure that it pops in Amor's face on the side of our survivors. So we've opted to pre-leave it. We get aura reading from eruption, and we are being short swung through the pallet on the side of Royces. That is most unfortunate. And now we're going to have to play the little short side of this pallet gym here. Going to be forcing locker, so we're able to get the pick in the background on the side of N to Y. And we're just in a little bit of a predicament here, once more dying in our generators and being hooked on top of the most progressed generator in a 3v1 with 3 generators remaining. No, I'm sorry, 1 generator remaining in a massive 3-gen here.
Yeah, just a few. I think this game is a mix of a few blunders here, but also some really insane mechanical skill here from Amor. Actually, as you said, I don't think we've quite seen him ever play Killer before, but some of their like insta 180 rushes to try and catch off the survivors here on some of the loops have been kind of insane, but some of the decisions here made by the survivor side, all taking those tags earlier on, the chase not lasting long enough, and then also, you know, as a result, not getting the 3-gen out of the way on this bot side of the map, and it's kind of coming back to bite them here. As we're going to be seeing a chase here from Roisey. We need one at least solid chase here from the survivor side to try and bring this one back, it feels like, as we're going to be seeing Roisey trying to lay this down. That miss rush actually does give them the top side of the map, which means that this killer's going to have to leave. The calls are coming out, I was about to say, and you might want to leave that generator, as it looks like the Blight is on their way. Going to be able to vault that pallet. Does have the utilization here of the deli and overcome. So if they do decide to chase this, it might be a bit of a mistake, and Amor actually being really smart here. Acknowledges that definitely will be the deli players we saw him save earlier on in the game, and will actually decide to go for one of these other survivors here. Amor going to be trying to go for Y, trying to get this down, as they have actually a few eruption procs here, so we'll get a lot of regression if they can just get this down and they can reapply a pop. But now we're seeing those spikes come up. The generators actually do see the stealthing survivor on the other side. I think it's the injured Roisey actually. So it's going to be a fast down here, not quite able to stealth that out. Really good sense here from Amor, knowing there's going to be 2 survivors who are going to check the wrong locker. But eventually we'll get them down with the eruption. The thing that they have to be careful about though is they can only damage the generator so many times as well.
Oh, I thought we were going to see something spectacular. I mean, we forced the wrong locker vault and we vaulted back into the locker on the side of Voices. I don't even think he meant to do that intentionally, so that probably caught him off a little off guard. Yeah, with the gen pressure that we have at the moment, I don't really see it being likely. We do have a lot of those kicks over at that 7 generator. I think there's only like 2 left, 2 procs of regression that can really happen back on that generator in the distance now, or something along the lines of that number. So we are going to commit chase all the way down onto Royces, who is going to be running all the way down to main, opting not to use it, going for the fill pallet just outside of main. We're probably going to get zoned back into the map here on the side of our survivor. More just going to be kicking that pallet instantly. The blind not coming in on the side of our survivors. That's going to be another quick down. And if we select this and go all the way back down to our generators, but we feel pretty comfortable in picking here, so not the worst decision in the world. We just have to make sure that it's not really being worked underneath our noses and is going to pop in any second now. So we're going to rush all the way down, and it is dangerously close. It is around 60%, but there's no double on it, so it wasn't able to get as much progress as you would have thought it did. Now we're going to be playing this nice long rock that we tried using at the start of the game, but, you know, Morse played really well around it for what it's worth. Now taking the tag onto N, he's going to be running down to the top side once more, try and get nice and far away from that 3 generator, and both survivors injured. This is looking very in favor of a 4K1, especially at the game stage like this as it currently stands. We did see this generator here, only 3 pistons done, and we're going to be going down on the side of Y. N injured, 1 survivor down, 2 survivors dead. 1 generator that's 60% progressed. I just don't see a world where they really escape this.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to escape this. We do have the deli on N here, which, I mean, I don't know what you're going to be able to create for it here in the end game. Amor going to be doing a 180, just breaking that pallet, but really well played here from Amor. And it was good to see that the Lirsanmarine survivor side actually you know, adapting in the middle of the game and deciding to eventually start dying on that top side, but it was too little too late. Too many deaths there and a few many tags in the wrong spots here, causing this game to kind of spiral, on these 3 generators that they didn't knock out earlier on at the end has kind of, you know, been the reason as to why they haven't been able to win this game. He's going to be seeing the deli coming through and just maybe a little bit of a chase here, maybe get a bit of you know, style points here on the survivor side to last long enough, but no, not at all. Just gonna be going down almost immediately in a more 4K1 to start off their first ever killer performance here on, I think it's just in general in the DVD comp, which is a really solid result for the Blight.
Definitely in OSL. I mean, first killer game in OSL on your 4K1 Lirsanmarine. Not many people get to say that 100%, but we are going to be taking this last hook onto the match. Not too sure who's going to play killer for Lirsanmarine. Who's going to play the Blight? Could be Sentry. I know Sentry plays a lot of their killers, if not all their killers, so it wouldn't surprise me if he was on the Blight. And I do believe Lirsanmarine have played Blight in the past, but I don't recall. My brain does not serve me correctly, unfortunately. I don't know who's going to be playing that set, but, you know, loading into a 4K2 win, being on the kill, I can't believe I actually forgot about that. I mean, I probably should have taken a look at the rosters, but he is the killer for Lirsanmarine, and on the side of Desolous, it is Smoky Hellfire, not emotionally stable, Amor and Anger. So we're keeping everything stock standard for the most part. No changes here aside from, you know, potential being brought in as the Blight main on the side of Lirsanmarine. Everything's kind of the same for tonight. So we are loading into this match, and we are seeing our survivors spawn on the top side of the map, the top portion of the map over at 10. We'd probably anticipate our killer spawning all the way down over at 5, somewhere around there, 4 or 5. We're going to be breaking this door over at main, and now opting to look for edge map stealthing survivors over at the backside. Seems to have caught a glimpse of something here on the side of potential. Now I can't really see on the side of us being the spectator, as it is pretty hard to see, but I can't lie, I don't think there's really anybody here. I think you're just kind of seeing things, buddy. Potential, I'm not quite too sure. I think they've all rotated to the bottom side, as that is where their uncorrupt is, and now he's kind of realized that. He's gone all the way down to the mid portion of the map. But we do see some scratch marks leading all the way down into 5. No, somebody who's just stuck around this truck filler is Amor, who's going to be taking the first chase of the game, opting to probably drop this pallet and run as far main as possible. Dropping the cracker in the process is going to make our bumps just be that little bit harder to calculate. And as we say that, we have left that chase entirely. Main is not something we want a part of on the side of potential, and I do agree with this decision of leaving. And now we're going to be interrupting this shack generator here, taking the kick nice and early onto that. We do see one of the survivors run outside all the way down to the edge map over at 7. We is our sprint burst player, Anger, using this up. Oh yeah, it's just not the survivor you want being in chase. They're going for a little bit of a tech here, opting not to choose to put the the med kit on the deli player, as we just saw last night as well. Quite interesting, but yeah, we really need someone to come in hot for this take. Maybe FTP play coming in of the sort if we can get it off, but obviously we're going to be eating an imminent tag here after a failed crouch tech, and now running around the shack side once more, probably opting to die in the middle of the map. We do have access to a dumpster filler here at the cost of 2-1 split on the generator, so we'll probably seeing 1 proc in the background. But are we able to jiggy around here? We are on a pallet. Is there going to be a pallet save of some sort? I don't think so. Oh wait, we do see Ace. No, wait. Oh, we saved the deli. That's crazy. Take it away, Peps.
That is absolutely crazy. Anger here, gonna be getting a second chance at life. Maybe another survivor can throw themselves at the killer. Probably isn't the greatest idea, but delaying the down here on the deli is actually massive here. Allows them to kind of rotate and split on the map. They're gonna be running down to the basement to try and crouch tech, but really nice there from potential, knowing exactly what Anger's gonna be going for. Trying to flip the dashes there. getting the down eventually. But the 2 generators for the first hook here. So even though this is the deli, it was a really nice play there in the middle of the map to try and drag us out a bit to get that top size generators completed there a bit. So now we're going to be able to cross the map here, potentially going to be able to try and cross here, maybe see if they can find out where this reset, try and intercept some of the survivors here. As we do see the generators going down towards 3, the 4K2 is the win con, 4K1 is the tie con, just so everyone is aware of that, as this game is actually coming to a bit of a clutch moment here. I feel like the game is going to be very much decided the next maybe 60, 90 seconds, depending on how these saves go, depending on whether potential can intercept these survivors. Getting tags, barely going to be missing that one on Smokey, as they have this TL war. I'm not too sure if they have live, they can maybe try to path somewhere. No, so Smokey's going to path actually into a tire, but does almost make the edge map. Going to be getting the stun there, but potential. Now the decision here is, are they going to be able to continue this chase? Are they going to go for the downplay a bit aggressive here? Are they going to go back for the hook here? Maybe the slug. No, going to be going for the pick. Anger going to be getting saved before that second stage, and they have to start to maybe try to think about getting someone out of the game if possible. Maybe dash back here instantly. They need to go back for Anger here. They need a tunnel out really soon, you would imagine, especially considering they're getting dragged towards this top side of the map where there doesn't seem to be a 3-gem remaining. Anger going to be getting healed here, as we're going to be seeing a more stealthing here in the main building. The Blight going to be kicking that jump, applying the eruption as well. Be a little bit patient on the pallet. Will just instantly break it, not worth even playing the mind game. There's going to be seeing a more trying to go for that window, but no, they do have this live to utilize, but they're going to be able to utilize the stun on that pallet and just buying them a bit of distance here. And this is coming to an interesting part in the trial.
Definitely. Oh, we get the spin as well. More just having an absolutely incredible chase and able to take chase all the way down to the one side of the map, but we do have access to a pallet gym. Going to be dropping that instantly now. We're going to be playing around anything else. Now we've opted to play around the pallet. The life coming in hot. Are we going to be able to get the flick onto it? We are. On the side of potential is exactly what you need in a chase like this after missing a bumper hit like that just before over at 1, and we are seeing a more just running into a whole lot of nothing, not able to flare once more, unfortunately, and that's going to be him hit down, and that's going to be him taking another, oh, well, that's going to be the third stage of the match, not another one. So yeah, he's another fresh hook as well, the second win on the side of Smokey, so everybody healthy at the moment. Definitely what you need if you are to bring it back to the tie condition, which is 4K1 at the moment. We do have access to these generators here, all kind of in a cluster on the left-hand portion of the map, right-hand portion if you're facing it the proper way. No, actually left-hand portion, but it's more around that 9, 8, and 6 tile. We do have access to some sort of a 3-gen. Very loose. I mean, I don't know how you can really hold this on the side of potential, but I mean, hopefully even the survivors can just really prevail in this instance. And now we are looping around the L wall on the side of Smokey, opting to do a little bit of unorthodox pathing there, trying to jiggy around the L wall, but not quite working out in our favor. And this chase is going to go all the way down to the 7 side of the map once more. We do see another generator in background progress. So if we are to be able to take this set on the side of potential, we need to be 4King now. And I just don't see a world where it is likely at the moment, as Smokey is second stage at this current time. But I think with 2 healthy survivors, you can only anticipate that they're all, well, the one going for a reset. We did see the reset onto a more, unless a more had a med kit in hand, which could be possible. I don't remember particularly. But you can only imagine that there'll be some generator progress happening in the background, as there is another healthy survivor who is able to kind of maybe sit main. We do see Amor, just over in the mid side of the map trying to force chase with DS in hand, but we're not going to go for any of it on the side of our killer here. We have spotted out emotionally stable, but we have gone back to the hook, I do believe. I don't think we're going to be committing this chase around main, because it's not exactly what you need. We're going all the way back down to the hook, where we're going to be potentially tunneling out Smokey very early here if we're not careful. It's Smokey getting flicked around the dumpster filler with no access to a pallet, and all of a sudden, their game is in Potential's hands to go for a 4K2.
Yeah, that was an absolutely perfect flick mechanically, but not only the flick, but the timing as well. Like, the endurance would have just perfectly timed out, and that's going to be the death, and potentially playing, as you said, this is going to be a potential tie con now actually being met here if they can get a few tags. The survivors, what they have going for them here is that they all are healthy, so it definitely still is achievable, this win. They just have to try and play this slow, kind of fan out on the map, utilize their perks in spots they need to, and just try to play this as best to their ability, as we're going to be seeing Anger here on the generator here at Shack. And they also do have a bit of a gen split here to play around as well. They have two gens top and bot side of the map pretty far away from each other. But Potential kind of suspects that there is another survivor at Shack and does spot the scratch marks. Knows there's two people on the bot side. So something you can try to do here is try to like fake dash towards the top, then like 180, try to cut them off, try to deal some punishment. That's something you can definitely do on the blind, try and fake out to try and catch people out of position. But Potential going to be going straight towards this top side of the map. Pretty confident might be able to find the survivor here, but no, they're stealthing pretty well, and this is what the survivors have to do. They have to be really on top of their comms, pre-leaving early, getting to safety, and just try to delay these tags as much as possible, because the moment you start giving tags and, you know, towards the killer, like the Blight, you're going to start to kind of fall behind in the later stages of the game, but doing really well at the moment.
Yeah, definitely doing really well on both sides, I might add. But, you know, if we are to really take this game into the hand of Potential, he needs an ninja, he needs someone in chase now, and that's what's happening. But we're nice and far away from these generators in the background, so, you know, another flare coming in as well. Moore's just playing very nicely around the killer that he also played in the first half of this set. So, you know, again, no tag at the moment is going to spell trouble for Potential. I can only imagine that they're ping-ponging Shack in main. And this is completely doable if we're able to get one generator procced in the next, I don't want to say 20 seconds. If we can't find anyone here at the Shack, we're in big trouble. Bad news, Bears. And yeah, 11 just being pumped at the moment as well. It is somebody in basement. We have found him, but that will be the tie condition met. As it currently stands, we do see a Moore trying to take a body block inside of Shack, but not quite working out, and we're getting hit through a nasty hit through that window. That's absolutely crazy. Moore's going to be able to light the way, as he does have access to the window on the outside of Shack. Now going to be trying to use the clutter over at Deep 6, but he's going to be getting tagged as a result of it. He's going to run all the way down to 3 side of the map. Now is Potential going to slug this, or is he going to go back to the pickup? And he's opted to slug. So I'm not too sure if Emotionally Stable will just like commit a generator here. I don't think that they do, because the only highest progressed one, yeah, we go for the pickup because the highest progressed is Shack. So it's not the play. No, it's just not the play. He's hooking so close to the Shack. Call it out, Amor. You need to be free-leaving that. It's no. Anger's going to get caught out again.
Oh my, I can't believe this game. It kind of seemed like the survivors were in complete control. Then within the span of like 20 seconds, 2 survivors that were completely healthy just went onto the ground. Really well mechanically played there from Potential. Really clutched down there at the window on Shack. Literally, if that body block comes through, the game's probably over. So that down there at that window on Shack is absolutely massive, as Anger's going to be going down now as well. And this is just spiraled out of control. The game's completely flipped. We have all survivors injured, kind of running around, not getting any time to do gens or reset. And now the 4K1, the tie on this Blight set, is looking very, very much possible here, as the survivors are kind of in absolute like tatters right now. They don't know what they need to do here. They don't know what they can do. I don't think they really can do anything in this situation.
Yeah, and as we say that, we have slugged the Unbreakable player and then the Decisive player. So we know he's the DS, but he does have Unbreakable in hand, so it's not too bad. I mean, we are looking for that last survivor who is up and standing, and is going to be not emotionally stable, just probably crouched on the other side of the map. We have opted to go all the way back onto Amor and going for the pick. Wait, we're waiting for it. We know he's got it. There's no way. Hang on a second. Potential might be onto something here, and he does realize it, but he looks away for a split second, and Amor is up and running around the dumpster filler once more. Is he going to be able to jiggy around the tree? No, he's just going to be going down, and this is kind of securing the 4K1 at the moment. This is just really a rough spot for our survivors. Like you said, the game just kind of spiraled out of our control on the side of our survivors. I mean, Potential just capitalized on every single mistake that he could, but going back onto our Sable here. If Sable's able to get the hatch, they actually take this W here, but there's not really access to any other pallets, and we're just going to get caught off at the side of the car. Or that's unfortunate, because imagine if we were able to Sable, that would have been absolutely crazy. It is a Mori as well. So tie in the end. You know, we wanted to see someone take away this set. I can't lie, being casters and whatnot, being so hyped, but it is still 1-0. Inflating Killer, and alongside that we have the survivors Smoky, Hellfire, Anger, Not Emotionally Stable, and Amor. Now there were some issues, which is why we're coming into this a little bit later. I mean, it probably took around the 10-minute mark to get this all sorted, maybe around 14, 15, who knows. There was some issues with the builds. We did fix them in the end, so hopefully everything is correct, and it does seem to all be in ship shape as I am currently looking at us loading in. So just like a few obviously outdated builds and whatnot. So just keep posted with the balance by daylight, please, guys. I mean, yeah, even though obviously there will be updates when something does change, but these boys being out of the competition for so long just hadn't checked, and luckily we caught it on too early, so no minus penalties there. But nevertheless, we'll be taking chase, the first chase of the match, all the way down to the top side of the map. Really unfortunate for the survivors to be spawning top side. Not much to run onto when you're just kind of stuck at 1 to 12 and the killer's just coming in hot to 1 to 12, and you're just going up the flanks. You just sometimes get caught out, and if you stand still like Amor has here, you're just kind of setting yourself up for maybe a quick and early tag. But he's playing really nicely amongst these pallets, and ever so narrowly missing those birds on the side of Sentry. Amor just playing out of his mind now, taking that quick tag and just opting to play this dumpster filler here, while the survivors are probably opting to go all the way down to the bottom side, work those uncorrupted generators. And we're playing this really patiently on the side of Sentry. No ping birds hit coming in here, trying to dodge it on the side of Amor, but not being able to vault the pallet in time, unfortunately. So that will spell a death at this fairly early. Again, at a disadvantage spawning on the top side, spawning on the bottom side. You have a lot more to run to, and you have access to Shack. And I believe it all depends also on what orientation that main is facing. We do have the shit window with a really not so good orientation of the building, I can't lie. So thoughts, Peps?
Yeah, I mean, that was really well played at first chase mechanically from a more, like today they've shown up mechanically like a killer and survivor side. They've just been playing really, really solid here for the side of Desolous, so playing really well. As we're going to be seeing a tag come through there from Sentry. I mean, it's probably been a hot minute since I've casted, but not only just cast in general, but like the artist. It's been years since I've casted this kill. I'm pretty sure we didn't really have it around an OC for quite some time, or not very often. But it's kind of exciting to see it yet again. It's going to be seeing Sable just narrowly able to dodge that bird. As Sentry kind of is going to play at the rest of this hook stage, just kind of trying to play for potential tags with the birds here. Wants to make sure Amor goes to second here, especially considering they are giving away gen progress here for free. The last thing you'd want is a survivor getting unhooked at this stage. So I don't mind this play here from Amor, as we do see Smokey though trying to stealth in here, trying to get the pull before second, but this is definitely a body blockable spot though, as there is a tree right next to the hook. Really well played here from the killer side, doing insanely well. He gets the second stage and the tag. It might be a quick down here, so this could be disastrous for the survivor side.
No bueno, and now we have a slug right next to the hook. We have no reason to leave on the side of our killer, but we are going to have to go for a trade onto our hook survivor or more, and that's going to be not emotionally Sable down. That's 2 survivors out of the game as it stands, and now Amor just hauling us all the way down to the bottom side. But as we saw previously, Amor very good on the mechanical side of things, so hopefully we can do a little bit of jiggy and last a little bit longer, which is exactly what our team needs. We have to put generators to a pause on the side of Anger, as there is no access to anything that can pick us off the ground. No access to Hex Exponential, and no access to Unbreakable. So I mean, this is just going to ultimately result in a down on the side of Amor here, and that's going to be a tunnel out of the game. So no funny business here, no decisive strike, no nothing. That's just going to be them gone at 3 gens remaining, tunnel out at 3 gens remaining, 3v1 at 3 gens remaining. That's just, it's not a scenario you want for the artist. And speaking from experience, as having played artist a fair bit this season, yeah, what do you do here if you're on the side of our survivors here? I mean, obviously not reset in front of the killer's face, as it is going to result in a tag, unfortunately, imminently as well. So putting a bird to kind of zone Smokey all the way into the corner side. This is not having a very good game, and it is a 2-tap. He just should have opted to die into the corner. I can't lie. He's just gone in and out and died at the pallet once more. We're going to be taking another pain res hook, which is going to hit main as well. So it's fairly close to this hook. Just not the spot you need to be in on the side of our survivors, as we would have liked to have flipped the map at some stage. But oh, look, it's just not a good day for Smokey. Having missed that trade as well over in mid, and now just getting 2-tapped at 11. He's probably having one of the worst games at the moment, I can't lie.
Yeah, I was going to say, this game specifically, like Smokey, just, it's unfortunate. It seems like one mistake after another. Maybe, not too sure, obviously can't assume, but maybe a little bit tilt potentially after the start and it's just kind of going downhill for them here. So unfortunate on that 2-tap, and it's going to put them in a difficult spot. It was just, as you were saying as well, Hunter, I was just saying, like, yeah, how do they come back into this? And I can confirm that's definitely not how you do so. So definitely in a bit of an awkward spot here. I'd say, like, maybe you just try to at least get down to a 4K1, maybe 4K0, 4K1 might be doable if they play it insanely well. I think that's what you're probably trying to aim for here, as we're going to be seeing the survivor side. You're going to try and drop that pallet, gets a nice stun there. Anger definitely doing God's work here for the side of Desolous here, trying to last as long as they can and chase. Actually having probably the best chase of the trial so far. Unfortunately losing that mind game, as the birds are still on them and they're going to be able to get it off in time, and they won't, but they actually did dodge the birds there, which is absolutely clutch. Anger actually being really clutch here for the side of Desolous here, as it's going to allow them to actually pop a gen here. So the 4K1 seeking way more feasible now. Doing a really good chase there, bringing it back for the survivor side. And something also to note as well is Lirsanmarine also did do the final ban here to force the artist. So they banned out the cannibal into the artist. So maybe Desolous just aren't as comfortable on the set.
Maybe not. Usually these boys, I mean, knowing them from personal experience, they all like to just play the set no matter what killer, really. So Smokey goes, I play everything. So, you know, at least he has that. And just, yeah, maybe, only maybe if they got like a different set, they could have pulled a better result. It does seem to be that they're struggling a little bit on the artist set, I can't lie. But in all honesty, I don't even know if it's really a macro fault per se. It's just a micro fault. Or honesty, I mean, we saw Smokey go in for the save at the right time, but get just body blocked at the tree. Just Sentry being absolutely peepo fat. And now we're going to be taking this hook onto Not Emotionally Stable, which is our last pain resistance in the game. Slow it down just a little bit more. We do know Smokey's all the way down at the bottom side, and I'm pretty sure Sentry does too, hitting birds over that area, but not quite hitting Smokey. He's left very nicely. We do see the blood pools and the scratch marks over on the side of Anger, who is just going to be caught out over at 3. He's going to opt to drop this pallet instantly and try and play Vault around it, but shotgun!
Ooh.
Not good. That's bad. We go to have a hook and a slug in the exact same spot. We know where Smokey is. Our killer going over there already instantly. Smokey doing the smart thing and pre-leaving, not being careful not to be caught out. Sentry cutting him off though, getting really close, and he is injured. So I'm not too sure if he's making any grunts though, because if I do recall correctly, they do have head-ons. Here's the head-on build, and Iron Will 2 would have been serving him justice, and it is. He's just so lucky to be able to be hiding behind this barrel here. And Sentry just kind of anticipating that he is in a locker, now opting to go back and play safe around his hook. But we do know Smokey is all the way over at bottom side, so Iron Will, S-tier perk when versing this killer, I can't lie. But, yeah, Sentry just now in such a power position. He's not really letting anything get out of his grasp at this point in time, so we are just kind of cutting off any sort of unhooked shenanigans from the side of Smokey. We are playing in the mid side where we can pressure the gen at the same time and pressure the hook, so Sentry knows the game plan. We have managed to just sneak around and get Anger up in the process. Anger, I think, being the flip-flop tenacity player, maybe. No, not even that. Just crawled away from after being fully recovered and managed to meet up with Smokey around 5 and get picked up in the process while we were just kind of camping the hook on the side of Sentry. And we have found Smokey once more. We haven't heard him, but we found him. And Iron Will coming in clutch again there. Just a 50-50 for our killer there to whether to send birds to get the shotgun proc, but again, just kind of struggling to get this down. Do we get the unhook in the background on the side of Anger? We are opting to try and we are electing to get rid of the birds over at 7. We have gone for the gen pressure as to oppose of the hook, so Not Emotionally Stable will be dying. That will be them out of the game. There will be no funny business saves here, but Sentry just having none of it, playing a little bit on the safer side and managing to go all the way back to the hook to make sure that they do indeed get sent back to the lobby screen. And with the 2v1, 2 gens remaining, you'd fight for the last gen, but it seems unlikely in this instance, perhaps.
Yeah, especially that snipe across the map, as well as Anger going to be trying to run away, gets the birds off with the locker just as they were about to hit them. It was kind of clutch, actually. Anger actually having a good performance this game. Trying to like kind of solo bring this back for the team, but I just kind of spiraled too far out of control too earlier on. I also do like the gifted pain usage there as well, perk-wise from the killer. It's always a nice perk. Doesn't get utilized that much, unfortunately, but can actually have a fair bit decent chunk of value. And it's interesting. I was actually going to ask a question about the rapid brutality. Does that actually proc on like bird hinges?
I actually don't know. I think it procs on basic attacks, so obviously that being a secondary attack, I wouldn't assume. As we do see
Probably
there.
not.
Nah,
yeah.
it is a basic attack, and this counts as a secondary attack, to my knowledge. Obviously,
So that
if
would
I
have been
am
nutty
wrong,
as hell.
yeah, exactly. It is still a really good perk nonetheless, though. I mean, to take the tag and quickly like run over and place your birds where they need to go over at the tiles, it definitely does aid you. Don't get me wrong, but just if it worked like that, man, I think everybody would be bringing that perk on this killer. I can't lie, but we've seen a lot of different perks being brought in onto these artist sets. So, I mean, we are kind of missing Eruption, as we would have seen in the back. I think usually people replace that for Rapid Brutality. They have usually Pain Res, Rapid Brutality, Gift of Pain, and Corrupt Intervention. But our killer just opting to go for a little bit of comfort here and go for a chase perk. So we are opting to go all the way back to the generator here over at 3. We do know Smokey is nearby over at 4 to 5. It's just a matter of if Sentry can really find this, as we do have our Slug over in the distance as well. So he's really fighting to keep this 4K2 alive, as it is a very good win con to be set. A very good tie con, rather, sorry, for his team. So just keep in mind that they would only need to pop 4 generators and they take away this set, taking away the whole series. And it's just incredible how we're only on the first series and it's already taken 2 hours. Again, it probably came into the, obviously.
Nah, not gonna work.
He's not. He's just playing a little bit on the safer side. He has gotten the pickup though, and both survivors are back and running in the game. Smoke going to run all the way down to the 3 side once more, and we're going to be continuing to chase on them. Shotgun! Surely, oh wait, Trauma Tech maybe. Nah, I don't think they would go for anything of the sort. Imminent shotgun coming inbound. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Shotgun. No? What? We're crazy.
I mean, why use the birds? We can just use the M1, you know? So, I mean, the down's coming through. The anger, the bleed bar's getting lower. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if you'd really get anything out of a Trauma Tech, right? Considering that Smokey's already been hawked. So, it doesn't really do too much, does it, for points?
Well, back in the day, you remember back in the
day, yeah.
Lead outs meant, and what like missing out on a few hook stages meant, it was the damn end of the world. That point system was messed up, but I mean, there's still some organizations that use it, and it does work, don't get me wrong, but I think this one is much more favorable in just, overall team gameplay. I mean, I don't think in any instance these boys on the Survivor side, with all due respect, should be able to pull it back into their favor after, the amount of micro mistakes we're witnessing earlier on in the game. And they knew what to do. You could tell they knew what to do. They were in the right positions at the right time. They played accordingly to what the killer had, obviously thought in their head. So they mirrored exactly his actions and played the counterplay. But ultimately, in the end, it just didn't work out for them. I mean, 4K2 Tycon, 4K3 win con for their killer. I mean, if this is Smoky Hellfire, I know he'll be bashing his desk right now, but can only imagine who's going to be on the killer side at the moment. I hope to see Smokey. I don't think we've seen him today. And he does play the obscure sets. He does like to play the funny stuff that nobody likes playing. So, he likes playing Singularity. He likes, in particular, that's his main one. And again, he did say he'd play everything, but just more so really known for those really obscure killers.
Yeah, I mean, Desolous here probably looking at the fact that, like, hey, probably play for a 4K2 if possible on the killer side if it is Smokey, and try to play through replaying the tires, because I feel like a 4K3 is going to be almost impossible. 4K2, I mean, it's a tall order, but I think you're just playing for that Tycon at the stage. As we're going to be going into a short intermission. Don't go anywhere, as Lirsanmarine might be able to take the set here on the artist. It's a 4K3 win, 4K2 Tycon coming up very, very shortly. Really good showing here from Zetsubo against Lirsanmarine, and we're going to be seeing Zetsubo's killer side, which I'm going to be guessing is probably Hellfire, Smokey. Going to be on the I don't know, it's actually going to be anger on the artist. I'm actually really curious to see what they do end up bringing perk wise, considering that they probably are going to be aiming for that 4K2 Tycon. So definitely interested to see what perk choices they'll all make to try and adapt to the current game. As we're going to be seeing the Survivors fan out, the classic Speedo shorts there from the Ace, an interesting cosmetic. But we're going to be seeing pretty much the exact same build, I'm guessing, actually.
Yeah, but it does seem we've spawned on the bottom side of the head
Oh,
on
head
the
on.
shit truck, straight
Cracker.
right off the rip, dude. That's crazy. And a cracker as well. We are in chase with 2 survivors, unfortunately, in the middle of the map, but already they have a better spawn than what our survivors over Desolous had last game. So are going to be opting to use the micro really well on this killer on the side of Airgun and commit the chase over down to deep 5. If we're not careful, this could be a quick 2-tap on the side of Y, who will be playing around this filler pallet over at 6, but opting to go all the way down to deep 6 and use the 4 walls, pre-dropping this in the process now. Anger placing a bird accordingly, but it's not going to really do much. Anger's just kind of zoned all the way into deep 7 where there is nothing, unfortunately, and it's going to be going down for a very quick chase at the moment for the bottom spawn of these survivors. So now just going to be taking this pain rest hook maybe on the side of Anger. He's opting to he wanted to go for mid, and I don't blame him for doing that. It is closer towards the area of where you genuinely anticipate the survivors to be in, as we do see N working that 12 gen and Boyce is just working over that 3 generator. We have gotten birds onto... Yeah, we have gotten... it does seem that person was going for the unhook, traversing around just the backside of Shaq and getting caught out, unfortunately. Sakuda, that is just rotating all the way down to the top side of the map now. They're probably going to elect to go for gen pressure here, I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, even just like triple solo gen here, maybe just giving up a hook stage probably wouldn't even be the worst trade in the world if you're feeling confident in letting the person getting unhooked, you know, play around that shack area, just maybe dropping pallets for them here and there. I'm definitely curious to see how they kind of trade or what they kind of feel like they want to do here. Maybe someone will actually be able to complete the gen and could maybe complete that rotate over, but no, we're going to be seeing Sakuda, the original hook saver, coming in here for the pull. But I mean, yeah, actually the perk choice, by the way, was actually switching Gift of Pain out for Eruption, actually, the kill state this time. So it's something a bit more consistency. The unhook going to be coming through. It won't be a trade though, considering the killer player went over for a bird. So a little bit of a mistake there, but at the end of the day, does at least get the injure at the bare minimum. Why going to be pulling away here? Did not go second, by the way. So actually will be able to have a bit of a chase here. And has another stage in their back pocket, but going to be going down immediately there with the birds into the other bird. So definitely a nice injure there. And you're going to be dragging them towards the top side of the map, which is interesting because I feel like a lot of their generators are on the bot side now, right?
I think they're a little bit far spread out. He does have a 3 gen over here, but in all honesty, we're at 4K3. This is the... Is this the tie condition, or is it just one over?
This is WinCon still. Tie
yeah, this is 4K2. Yeah, sorry, I apologize. I did forget that it wasn't a 4K3, it was a 4K2 last game. But yeah, I mean, he'd have to hold from here. Like, look, the hook is central to all the generators at the moment, but with this much pressure and like 4 survivors still left in the trial, I mean, it's got to be pretty hard to hold these generators. That's why we call basically his WinCon a tall order, is just because it's essentially what it is. And now he's just going to have to try and pressure those generators off in the far distance. These ones over here at the top side are fairly easy to keep a hold of, as they are relatively close to the hook. But yeah, just going to be having trouble getting 5 really slowed down on the side of Anger, and now he's just really kind of sitting parking the bus at the moment. So it'd be... Oh, we have gone for a little bit of a sneaky trade on the side of N. We've gone for a double trade. Okay, we're going for a double. So we are going to be continuing on the chase on top line. It is actually, that because this can result in a down pretty quickly. Shotgun, 3, 2, 1. Oh no, still got the endurance status effect. No.
That would have been like the last millisecond too. That's actually so unfortunate. I think honestly it might just be the game set and match just off of that one bird interaction there with the endurance status effects. It's very unfortunate, as Royce going to be coming in for a tag. We have 4 inches, but the 4 inches don't really matter as long as they can get 1 more generator completed, which I do foresee potentially happening. And as you said earlier as well, I was actually mistaken on the gen placement. There was that 3 gen on the top side of the map, and the survivors actually got good generators done early in the middle area of the map. So kind of force Anger into a bit of an awkward spot here, not allowing them to kind of play around a potential 4 gen. And they're just going to probably just send it at this generator. I mean, it's basically guaranteed completed at this point. You just got to just hold M1. You don't really care if you die in this end game here because you lock up the 2-0. Well, the 2-0 and the tie. So obviously you don't get a point for a tie in the set, but I mean, I'm just trying to make the point that Desolous did have a pretty decent showing in this best of 3. So definitely props to them, but it does look like that Lirsanmarine are going to take this. It's only a matter of time now, maybe seconds before this generator pops, as Anger going to be trying to charge down Sakuda. Sakuda going to be going down here. meeting his maker, which is going to be the artist here, going to be trying to throw them on this on this hook. I was going to say the pain res on the gen might be clutch, but not quite going to come through as Lirsanmarine take the best of 3-2-0.
Lirsanmarine doing it. I mean, 2-0 in the end. Yeah, they did take them the 3 sets though. You got to remember that. I mean, it was a tie in the middle, and on paper it just looks like, yeah, Lirsanmarine 2-0. It's what people expected. 99 to 1% on the communal vote. If you guys didn't catch a glimpse of that earlier on in the intermission screen, but I mean, it was always kind of in favor of going Lirsanmarine's way, and Desolous did put up a performance to kind of compete with that though, which is what you love to see. I would also love to see them back like next season, as you know, they won't be progressing through their group stage, unfortunately, making the finals. I don't think after 3 losses, unfortunately, it is they are not able to do that. Nevertheless, we'll be taking the final, or one of the final chases onto Royces over in the middle side of the map and getting that nice down. This is still 4 cable from this position. He is just playing for best possible result at this point, so gonna go for a pain res hook all the way down at deep 7, and that is where the reset is happening. Are we able to catch a glimpse of our survivors rotating? And we do get hold of the scratch marks here. After this hook coming in onto Royces, we are going to be continuing on with those all the way down to the 9 side of the map, where there are no generators at the moment. There is a buttload of pallets for the bro to work with, but I think he's just kind of dissipated in the distance. And yeah, the pull has happened on the side of Royces, and it is N following alongside with him. And we're going to be going back to that and just committing the chase. No.
Yeah, Anger just going to be trying to, as you said, play for the best result here. If they can get a 4K, it's honestly, like, when you look at the grand scheme of things, a tie, and if you were able to get like a 4K, I mean, it even shows the other set would have been like pretty close as well. But Anger going to be kicking this generator, and he has a few more procs left, maybe about 3 or 4 max. As going to be seeing the Jake pre-stealthing, good comms there from the Survivor side, trying to let the Survivors pre-stealth here, and they've got a 2-1 split occurring here, which is definitely what you want to see in the end game when you get down to the last generator. So this is a pretty bread and butter way to play the end game, as we're going to be seeing the Speedo Ace making their way over towards the top side of the map, as they're going to be around the 9 area now, making their way up towards 10. As they do actually have a nice filler pallet here, actually, and they're going to be able to just drop that one in the face of the artist. Trying to go back off Fiend, as the artist Anger going to be trying to shoot some of those birds over to try and scout those generators, but it seems like they're more interested in maybe just going for a bit of a few chases here. It seems like they're not as interested in the gens, but as I say, if they shift focus to Sakuda on the generator here at around about 1, as we're going to be seeing Anger trying to chase after Sakuda here. They do have an edge map filler, which I think they might have to play around. Yes, they're going to have to elect to play that, as they're going to play a few birds here. And I was about to say, you can't really play this pallet against the artist, and Sakuda realizing that is going to be holding W back towards this top side of the map. All the while, Royzy's 100% on that generator just outside of Shack, and that'll probably be popping anytime soon if Ender has just hauled their way all the way over on that side of the map. So, yep, there we go. The generator's going to be popping here. Sakuda going to be dying edge map, and it might be, yeah, it should be 2 survivors escape here. They're already on that door. And, yeah, a good showing here from Desolous. As you said, unfortunately, probably not going to go through the group stages, but this, I think it's just, honestly, like, they have a decent potential. I'd like to see them next season. It's just a bit of inconsistency, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. If they're just, like, able to stay in the Scrim Laboratory for as long as they can. I know they've been grinding out the ranked quite frequently as of recent events, and yeah, just hopefully we see them again prevail. And it's just, you know, there's still one more week to really take another game as well, so there is that. It's just